talk talk? There's a talk dance like this, like hey, hello, like that. No, I don't know. I don't know I'm not with it. I don't even know what SnapTwit is. You know, like Snap, whatever, Instabook, whatever those are.
Instabook.
Okay. At least those are combined now, Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go through 2 lessons. So with y'all, we're trying to shoot for, see, we're already like 5 minutes, in. So we kind of gotta go as soon as we're starting. But like 9:10, hopefully we're done with the first lesson. Maybe we'll take a break and then do the second lesson. So it's group work. Those are the notes for the whole unit. If you look over on the board, I got each little day. So we got 1.1 homework. All the homeworks I put on Schoology, and they're all ready for you to work on them. So the homework, just because it'll feel like we're moving even faster with the block schedule. We have some homework due on Friday and a quiz on Friday. And it'll kind of be like every other day we'll be having a quiz.
Like once a week.
Like once a week. So we'll be doing that. But those are just good like little check-ins, they're daily grades, which is only 20% of your grade. And then we'll get there. So group work again, we're trying to be diligent with our time and get through it. So let me preview Staplet before we move on anywhere. So if you go to Schoology, and then it's in here, so it says Staplet. If you click on that, we're going to use this today and then every so often throughout the year. What it does is it helps us like easily graph stuff quickly and get a visual representation. So where we're starting with statistics is like we're going to do kind of some, it'll feel kind of basic for basic stuff for like the fall, and then it'll get to like a little weirder area for you in the spring. But intermixed in the fall, like don't get trapped in that this is like too easy, because then you have to, like your wording of things for free responses needs to be accurate. And so I mean there's tough things in the fall. It's just it's under a deception of like really easiness. Like okay. So we're gonna use this. So like one categorical variable, if you have 2 categorical variables, 1 quantitative, 2 quantitative. We're gonna talk about categorical and quantitative today. And then we're just going to be staying in this little section. We'll be using this other stuff throughout the year, So, okay, so let's get started. Hopefully we don't run out of time. I think we'll be okay, or we'll just get used to it. So without, y'all getting up, we can't quite be that interactive this year. We need to have a little class plot here. So I want to know, is our favorite elective class associated with our favorite core class? That's where we're going to kind of end up at. So collect class data to see if there's a relationship. So think about it in your head real quick. Which of these 5, art, music, PE, athletics, whatever, foreign language, or I don't even know what technology would be, I don't know, or other, I guess you could, or whatever. I think we can fill into these things. So of these 5, think in your head, and I'm going to go through real quick. So where are you at, Graham? Which one?
Athletics.
Okay.
Athletics. Technology. Music. Art. Athletics.
Music.
Athletics.
All right. Bunch of jocks now. Foreign language, Miss Bailey's going to be so sad at y'all.
I was gonna say that, and I was like,
All right. Just go with your heart. It's okay. I mean, but you know, the whole school, I'm sure every teacher is subscribed to my YouTube channel already, and they're going to be hurt by that. All right.
Wait, are you recording?
Oh, yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, just making
Yeah,
sure.
you're on recording.
You should generally do that.
All right, so what we're going to do in your groups is y'all are going to do question 2, 3, and 4. So, in your own little group, talk to somebody. Again, you can kind of group into threes, like 4s, whatever you want. Let's talk about what you think the individual and the variables are. Is this categorical or quantitative? And then go to Staplet, and I want you to choose one of those, make a bar graph and a pie chart and sketch them. So, let's take, I don't know, let's say like 3-4 minutes. Let's try and go for that. So 2, 3, and 4. Try those out with your group. 2, 3, and 4.
Can you explain the difference in three?
Why don't y'all try? And then I'm going to explain them.
Okay.
Try and think about these. Just give your best guess. I'm going to explain them on the backside. You try and come up with what you think. If you don't know, if you can't give yourself a good guess, then skip on to the next one.
Which one is one variable? Oh, is it one category? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I get it. It's like the, so one is like this?
I went to that Staplet website. All of it?
I guess he always has to have like a picture. I thought the survey was like, you ever learn about things that you learn? A lot of like, just like community and
About this. Yeah, this is it.
oh, there's a
All right. Yeah, just trying to make sure you were paying attention. Good catch. Yeah, that's a 3. Wow. Okay. Man. Hey, I did that on purpose, didn't I? Okay.
It's making content for the YouTube.
Oh yeah, I gotta get good. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the like button. No. Okay. All right. So, some of you somewhere, some of you are different places. You can kind of keep filling in. So let's kind of fill some stuff in as we go here. So, identify the individuals and variable. So statistics kind of lines up more with like your science classes than it would math sometimes. So when you think individuals and variable, I want you to think about like in this survey that I just took, who were the individuals that I surveyed?
The students.
Yeah, it would be, in this case, if we're really trying to get technical with it, it would be second period AP stats. Or you can just say students, you can say AP statistics students. I need to make that bigger, but okay, noted for later. So, because then I'm really only sampling, y'all might not represent everybody, right? Like, you are the AP Stat student, you're not the AP Calc, you're not regular geometry, so that could be difference that we might need to note. Variable, so what's our variable?
The favorite elective classes.
Okay, yeah, our elective classes, so, yeah, favorite elective. Okay, so you can think about it as who did I experiment or survey, and then what was I asking them about. So who was I asking, what was I asking about? And then on this one, I wanted y'all to just get some guesses, because like in your brain, racking around in there, you might already know. So is this categorical or quantitative?
Categorical.
Okay, and I know that we have some mixes here, which is okay. So if you said categorical, why? So categorical is right.
Because there was a category.
Okay, yeah, so sometimes it's easy as like categorical categories. Like, are we in certain things that you can really only fall in art? Or whatever, your favorite color, the year you're graduating, like your classification as senior, junior, whatever. So let me do that. So let me do some examples. So yeah, like your favorite color, your graduation year. Okay, what about quantitative examples? Okay, I like that. And why do you think height? Like, why'd you say that?
So it can be like the number, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
It's like you can't change like it.
quantitative is a number, but not every single numbered thing is quantitative. Like, you're going to graduate in 2021 or 2022. Those are not, that's not quantitative. But yeah, so quantitative is normally numerical data, and I like to think about it as like, does it make sense to be averaged all together? Like, the average height of this class, whatever, is 5'8", okay? That makes sense. I would never say in a categorical thing, the average whatever would be this. Maybe I could say the biggest choice was PE or whatever, but I'm not going to average them together into some sort of thing. So like height, test score, what's another one? Let's get one more. What do you think? Quantitative. I don't know. Test. What were you going to say?
Age?
Yeah, age. Age technically is one. Okay, what about zip code? Categorical or quantitative?
Categorical. Because you can't do like an average zip code, right?
Yeah, so 77802 in the house, so that is a category of people you fall into. Like, just like your graduation year, 2021, 2022, whatever. So not necessarily every number is quantitative. We feel okay on that? Okay. So then we went to our Staplet. We had just understanding what is chosen here. So there was like, I chose one categorical variable, and we only had like a single group of people. I wasn't doing second period and sixth period and trying to split them. So that's what multiple groups is. I just had one group. So I put my frequency in, and then I like this because then it immediately gives me bar chart, pie chart, and this thing called a segmented bar chart. So I want you to copy down one of those or multiple of them. And let's see, some good things about graphs. So typically on an AP test, you're not going to be asked to make a graph, but interpret it correctly. So making sure, we've got like our labels, what this is over here. Another thing is that we want to make sure that our bar chart especially begins at 0. So we do not want to like skip ahead. You can skip numbers. You can go like 0, 10, 20, 30 on your tick marks on the side. But we always need to start at 0 to have a good comparison. We don't want to get too, we need to take care of those people who are still 0. Like foreign language has 0, and it was clear that I could see it. Let me talk about one other thing here. So this is frequency. So frequency was 8 PE, 3 music, 1 art, 0 foreign language. There's a tab that says relative frequency. So frequency is the number. Does anyone want to give a guess before we look at it what relative frequency is?
The percent.
Yeah, it's the percent. So if I change it, my bar graph stays the exact same in the differences between. So they're still the same, but it's saying this was whatever, like 8, 9%. And so it gives, so that's kind of, that's one thing to maybe note. So on the board over here, I tried to make a little list of things I'm going to try and check off and talk about. So one of the things was frequency versus relative frequency. So frequency is just like your counts, like your number, and then relative frequency is like your percentages. Now, there's a lot of little things that like you could be worrying about, like, do I have to get every single detail? In general, I don't think there's like a question on like a test most often that's like, was this the frequency or relative frequency? This is just vocab used that I want you to be able to understand. Like if it's saying it somewhere, I don't want you to be confused. But like, so frequency is just saying the number. Relative frequency is the percent. Let's look at some of these others here. Okay, so pie chart. Something about pie chart is we want it to be a full pie, and you want to have a key as to what's there, because when I make a key, it's showing that like there was this thing called foreign language. There's just nothing in it. And so I even put the 0% things on there. So you're not going to have to make a pie chart, but you will. It could pop up. It's not really a common thing, but it could pop up that you need to like interpret it. Okay. So making a key is a good thing. Slow me down or speed me up whenever you need it. Okay, and then what do you think, what's your interpretation of this segmented bar chart? What do you think happened? How'd they make it?
They just like stacked it all on top of each other.
Yeah, they just simply took their things, all the different things. Again, they still listed foreign language in a key, and it totals from 0 to 100%. And you can choose whatever order you want to stack them in, as long as you just label them like this one is this. What I like to do when I'm doing it on paper, I don't typically carry 5 different colored pens. So maybe I would have done like this one's this. Okay, this one has this pattern. this one was dotted or something, and this one went straight up and down. So if you're wondering how to actually make one, that's an idea. I mean, color is great, but if you don't have color. So another thing is segment and bar graphs are made with the percentages and not the counts. So I always want to know, looking at this, I can immediately see, like, I don't know, I can try and count the rough percent of PE. So I don't know, we're from like 30 to, I think we're about 61, 62% PE, something like that. So segmented bar graph is just a bar graph with relative frequencies stacked upon each other. Okay, those are three different types of graphs. You might have seen these in the past, but making sure to hit on some highlights. Maybe I should. Any concerns there before we keep moving? Feeling okay? Got someone at the door. Okay, so rupture is second period. So come back tomorrow for first period. Yeah, today you're gonna go to pretty good numbers, right? Okay. Let's see here. So we need to kind of move on to our next one. We're gonna split it with not just our favorite art, music, PE, foreign language, whatever. We're also gonna do like, what's your favorite core class? That's pretty hard because like you're in math class, but you know, I won't hate you if you don't choose math. It's okay. So I can't remember. Whoever was art, tell me math or English is your favorite. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
Music. There were three of you. Which one? Someone I don't remember. Give me a count. Math or English is your favorite.
I'll say math.
All right. There were two others of you. All right. Wow. Not at the end of this year. We should do this again. PE. Okay. PE. Just whoever had it. Just tell me.
English.
Okay.
Math. English.
Okay. Wait. I heard in English.
Math.
Okay. Wait. You said math. Okay. I didn't get it. English.
Is that 4 or 3 on the?
Okay. That's 4, 4. So I think we have 8.
Yeah.
So I think we're good. All right. And then was there like
No.
how many foreign? Oh no, there was no
0.
foreign language, and then there was one technology. You were tech. Math. Okay. All right. Sweet. So there's our little counts. You could put 0. That's probably what I would do. 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay. Let me see here where I was looking for. Alright, so now we have a couple more things. So we added a category. We now have favorite category of elective, favorite in the category of core class, only for those two. Obviously there's a couple more core classes. So what I want you to do with your group is I want you to do number 5 and then all the way down to actually 11 on the back side. So you're going to do the rest of that first page and then all the way down to 11. So in your group, whatever question you're seeing, I'm going to come around, but if you're hesitant on a question and you're not sure, I just want you to try and give your best guess as to what you're thinking. Because I just want y'all thinking on your own before I do this, okay? So, complete number 5 with your group and then do the whole back page, 6 through 11. Maybe we'll do like 10 minutes. Maybe that'll be our rough go of it here.
Which variable
And if you got like a super, like your group is stuck, like just let me know. But
Does the table have any Which variable best explains the other variable?
8 people total.
That goes over 100.
Keep checking my email because I tried to email those people. I don't know my password to.
Well, all the kids who did with technology did math, so I feel like it'd be 1 choice, or
For which one?
English,
What are you talking
how many variables?
Oh, okay.
Or is
Yeah.
it like all math, 1 choice?
Yeah, so what were variables again in the original question? Your favorite elective. So just whatever choice of elective was your variable. And so we have 1 variable.
Okay. Oh, so now there's
Yeah, so
2.
before there was only 1 variable. And the variable was not all the choices, it was the
Just that you had a
elective.
choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then categorical, so.
So again, if you hit a point in here where you're not sure, either can help you out or make your best guess until we get there, or we will talk about it. On the just so you know too, on number 8, it says, I got confused when it said side by side bar graph. That just means what you would picture as your typical bar graph. And you're making 1 for math and 1 for English, okay? That's what I think I was like, wait, is that the segmented? And if you want, you can do like, if the graphing is going to take too long on number 8, you can answer number 9, 10, and 11 first, and then try and go back and graph it, or whichever. So sometimes graphing takes up more time.
Going with the athletics, it was 50-50. Number 10, it's saying if there's an association between the core favorite subject and
Are you done with this one?
the favorite elective.
Look at number 11, if there's
Yeah.
an association between the favorite core subject.
We've done that with frequency.
What was that?
A percent of this
What's that?
program?
We've done that with, yeah, we did it with rowing.
Either way.
So, okay.
We'll do
For
the
bar
same,
graphs
like,
is
out of
fine,
this,
but
what percent
segmented is
of
only for
this?
relative.
Or,
Okay,
Like,
that's
a
probably why.
percent.
It really doesn't matter as long as you put that percentage there, then it's good.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how to write this.
Alright, so we got a couple minutes. So let's, if you haven't already, try and look at number 9, 10, and 11. So that's kind of the meat of something else. So make sure to try and look at 9, 10, and 11.
You could say that technology is one math, or music and art, and or sports and or yeah, the arts and the arts and
When's the first game? When's the first volleyball?
In September, I think, like early September, like past the 4th, is when we can start.
I heard they lost tournaments.
Do what?
Y'all can't do tournaments this year. Maybe so about a minute, just so that we can kind of keep moving along.
and then PE is just I think I'm just gonna group through the data all for the, I think mine's gonna be legal partner. And then technology.
All right. Sweet. Okay. So let me get back to where I'm going. I probably should have put my data in, but that's okay. All right. So let's go to look at number 5. And so in this first section is also these tables. So a two-way table is another way to graph categorical data that you've probably been very familiar with. And so inside of that, we can talk about some percentages of each. And the main thing I want to talk about on this is it's important to get your totals so that whatever question they ask of us, we can kind of answer quickly. So, like, if I'm comparing two different columns or rows or whatever, maybe those aren't the same totals in those two columns. So I might be like looking at them like differently, wrongly compared to the percentages of total of each. So, like for example, so like let's get like this would be like I just like to write them down here. So like that'd be 6, and then I have what's that 7, 1, 0, 8, 3, 1 for a total of 13 students in class today. Okay, so then it makes it easy to look at because, for example, while it's not a massive difference, technically, like the percent of people who like math who also liked PE was not the same percentage of people who liked English, like out of 4 out of 6, 4 out of 7. Now those are really, really close, but if the difference was like, this was like a sample of 50 and this one over here was a sample of 20 and they had the same number, you'd be telling me something completely false if they were both the same number. Okay, so we gotta be careful on that and some interpretations. Okay, so the percent of all students who chose PE, and I didn't write these down, so I might need help. So let's see. Percent of all students who chose PE, was that 8 out of 13? Is that right? I don't know the percent though.
It said it was 61.
Okay. Sure. Let's do one decimal, up to one decimal. So 61.5. That's good. Okay. The percent of all students who chose math and chose art. Let's see. Math and art. Yeah, 0. Dang. I guess that could kind of make sense. I mean, like those are two different spectrums. If you like math, you're probably not artsy. Okay, so I think that is 0%. Good job there. Okay, the percent of students who prefer math that chose tech.
0.07.
All right, what's our number? Percent.
1.
So 1 out of what?
That's why I said 0%.
Is it 1? Okay, is it 1? So that chose tech. Is it 1 out of 13? Is it 1 out of 1, or is it 1 out of 6?
1 out of 1. Right?
So percent of students who prefer math. So out of the people who chose math, that then chose tech. So which one of these three is it now?
1 out
1 out
of 6.
of 6. Okay. So of the percent of students who prefer math, so I only care about the math people, who chose tech 1 out of 6. So I think that's like 16.6%. 6, probably 7, but yeah. So 6 repeating. Okay, so some technical terms. Do y'all remember what this probability would be called if I focus in on only one column and those percentages?
Experimental.
What? Oh, this is experimental, yeah, compared to like theoretical. I'm going for,
Is it like conditional?
there we go. Yeah, I was going for conditional. So this is a conditional relative frequency. Are y'all okay with shorthand? If I do that? If you don't understand, or if you just can't read my bad handwriting, just tell me. So that's a conditional. I put a condition of the students who like math. So I only care about those people. Okay, this one is just your typical one. The statistics or math term for it would be called a marginal. Ran out of room. Marginal relative frequency. So just think about that as like just your basic frequency. And then this one is not, it's out of everybody, so it's not conditional, but it had the and, so I'm combining two things together. So this one's just called joint relative frequency. Okay, so it's not necessarily that like you're gonna be asked we'll get more into the percentages and conditionals during our probability unit in like December, but it's just that like if you see these words that you're not way out the ballpark on. Okay, so let's go to the backside. So how many variables does this table have, and are the variables categorical or quantitative? So I was helping a group, and the question was like on the first question, number 2, what was our variable on the original question?
Favorite subject.
So the variable was favorite elective class. And it wasn't how many choices you had, it was that it was the favorite elective class. So we had one variable before, so hopefully you put 2 variables, and that would be your favorite elective, and it would be your favorite core. Okay? I could see how you would want to put whatever, like all the columns or whatever. But we're doing 2 variables. So typically you're doing like 1 or 2 variables. You're not normally going for more than that. And then they were categories still, right? Alright. This one's kind of up for interpretation on this. So which variable would best explain or predict the other variable? And since this one is kind of just up for debate, I'll just go with I'll tell you what I said. And our question is, we're trying to kind of go for, can your core class, like if you're more of an artsy, like English person or like a technical math person, do you prefer, your foreign languages or your artsies or your music, or you then more technology or something like that? So can core class, what did I write? Core class could predict elective. If you put the other way, you could probably do a good job convincing me. And that one's kind of weird, but sometimes it's really cut and clear. Sometimes it's not. We will get into this later, like next unit, not this unit, but this would be explanatory variable to response. So like, this is my response, I chose foreign language. What explains me choosing foreign language? It was that I like English more than math. Alright, but that one's kind of vague on that one. Okay, so we made our little staplets, got our bar graphs. I'll let y'all have those on your computer, hopefully. Well, I guess I can make them for us and then we can look at them. So this is where I should have done something. Okay. So I gotta do a lot here. What was it? It was art, and it was music, and it was PE, foreign language, or technology. Okay. And then we had math, English. Okay. What was it? Was it 0?
1, 4,
Wait, music was
1,
1.
2, 1, 2, then 4, 4, 0, 0, 1, 0.
Alright, sweet. Okay, so hopefully yours looked something like this. So we got our segmented, we have our side by side, and then it said something called mosaic, which we're going to talk about after our break. So here's my side by side, relative frequency or frequency. You can do either one, relative frequency or frequency. There is a difference on this one though, like I was talking about. Here's my frequency, and then here is my relative frequency, and now all of a sudden those PEs are not the same. They're not vastly different, they're still the biggest ones, but there is a difference. Same thing with, which one is that? Music goes up. So There's my side by side. I like the segmented bar graph for this comparison because what it does is it's in that relative frequency, so it's putting them in comparison, and then they are like directly next to each other to where we can really quickly get a nice, we can start interpreting stuff from there. So I can immediately see that like the English people had an art and the math people had a technology, and like the others didn't have those things, and kind of talked about it. So number 9 we kind of talked about on the front of the page. How do the bars in the side-by-side bar graph relate to the bars in the segmented bar graph?
Well, they're the same total, is that how they were displayed or different?
Yeah, all we do would just stack them on top. So all that happens from our side-by-side bar graph to our segmented bar graph is that we have a stack of them. So we choose a categorical variable like math and English, and we then stacked all the bars of that one together, all the bars of the other. And it's a stack of relative frequencies, not frequencies. So there is a difference. Okay, is there an association between favorite core subject and favorite elective?
No,
Okay, why?
because they're basically, well, the ones that have multiple are basically 50-50.
Wait, what?
So like, the categories that do have multiple, like for the electives, the ones that don't just have one in them are split basically 50-50.
Okay.
I think that if there was like a bigger sample, it would be closer to like it would be closer to like the I don't know.
Yeah, if you had more samples, we'd probably get a better, like, the gaps would get bigger, smaller, the same, whatever. So what I really want is for y'all to think about what was your definition of your brain of association. So what can we say association is? Like, if these were the exact same thing, male and female, or math and English, choosing, is there an association or not? So is there an association between your core class and choosing an elective? So what I want to define this as, I wrote, so basically, maybe I'll write it here. So I wrote an example. So what did I say? Basically, an association is, does knowing, what did I say? Except on the board I said male. So let me, does knowing that you like math class tell me to predict like an elective, basically? So does knowing math versus English, maybe I should say it like that, sorry. So does me knowing which core class tell me I can get a pretty good guess at you liking a different core elective class? Does that definition kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So if there's an association, it would mean if you liked math, I could for sure tell you there's like you're probably gonna like PE. Like I could probably guess, even though in this case it's pretty similar. Let's say the technology one, like you might like technology. Let's say there was like a really big gap here with the technology. Or, oh, you like English? Oh, I know that you probably like music or art. Like you're probably like you probably chose one of those categories. So we kind of do that in day to day, like, oh, you like this? Oh, I could probably guess that you do this too. And so that's kind of my idea of association. So is there an association? Basically the way we're going to do this is it would be like no. So there's not an association if our segmented bar graphs are like pretty similar. And then there is an association if they're different. So these are all kind of up for your best interpretation. off the top of my head, I'm probably gonna say that there is an association, because I was gonna come back over here. So, is there an association between favorite core subject and favorite elective? I'm gonna say yes, because I'm gonna say the PE and technology. So technology happened. Maybe let's just go for this. Yes, segmented graphs were different. I'll just go for really basic. So, like, the math had a technology where the other one didn't. The English had an art and some more music while the other one didn't. The math had more PE than English. But you can kind of go either way. Mallory, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Mallory made a little point about, like, well, what if we had a bigger sample size? That would be really nice, because then that bigger sample size can really tell me if these differences were big or small. Like, because we had such a small number. Like, we had one person like technology, one person like art. I know, did we have two? One, I can't remember. But, so maybe if we had a class set of like 30, we could maybe get those differences bigger. So, yes, but maybe I'll say but larger sample would be helpful. Okay, so sure, we can interpret something, but it would be really hard for me to make a whole justification about all AP students at Bryan High just from y'all as 13 people. That'd be pretty harsh for me to do, especially because there weren't big differences. All right. If there was not an association between them, what would the graphs look like? If there was not, the graphs would be the exact same. Okay, so if there was not an association, so the segmented graphs, maybe I'm not going to say the same, I'm going to say roughly the same, because it's really hard to get the exact same numbers, so let's go for roughly. Alright. We don't want to restrict ourselves too much, so I'm just going to say roughly. Alright. Sweet. We doing okay?
Yes.
Need anything? Okay, let's try the backside. And then the second lesson is shorter, so we're still going to be okay. I'm going to give you a break here in a minute. Okay. So me just putting some things in the important ideas section kind of things to hit on. So one thing was categorical versus quantitative. So let me see, where did I have? So I like to give myself some examples, and I'll go for this. So categorical are generally so I'll just go for the easy one as like categories, labels, stuff like that. Like you're put into a box, and you can only be in that box. It's not gonna, like, that's what you chose. Okay? Maybe I'll go for an example like favorite pet or something like that. Zip code. They do like to make zip code. One of those. Alright, so quantitative is normally, actually, it's always numerical. And something you can kind of measure. So numerical, so something you can measure, like what we said is height, temperature, stuff like that. Alright. Boom. I might not Alright, what's something else that I had for our idea? Okay, we had association. So, an important thing for association is basically if I know one thing, can it tell me something about the other variable? So let's not say thing. If I know one variable, can it lead me to know your net, like another variable about you? So, okay, if I know you're from Texas, I know you're probably gonna like Whataburger. If I don't know. So that's a pretty good example. Let's leave it at that one. Like maybe that's your favorite burger place. Okay. Another one. I mean, we talked about different things. Conditional. Yeah. So we got our different graphs. Making sure to label your graphs correctly. A big thing with the bar graph again is starting at 0. Having some good stuff like that. So I think I'll leave it for that right there. There's other good stuff in there. Okay. What I want is we're gonna do the check for understanding. I want you to try number 1 and 2 with the table, and then we are gonna take a break. So do number 1, do number 2. So why the graph is misleading, and then give me some percentages there on the bottom. What you think?
It's not asking.
Try that out. How we doing? 25. 30 minutes left. Hey, maybe just for time here, let's just do number 1 if you've already, don't go to number 2. So you can look at number 2, I've got the answers to number 2, you can do that on your own. Let's just look at number 1. Seem like we got something for everybody. Let's try it out. I came up with like 3 ones. So let's see. Let's someone want to see one thing that might be misleading about this graph.
It doesn't start at 0%.
Yeah, the frequency percentages don't start at 0%. So that can be one. So percentages don't start at 0, and then let's say like what's bad about that? What could we be missing?
You could like look over it and not.
Like, yeah, we could be looking one of 2 things. This gap right here is actually probably smaller than we think because they zoomed in on it, and there might be 44% said neither. Like we don't. Well,
Yeah.
I guess technically we could find our percentages, but it's kind of annoying that this is not 0%. So that's a problem. Neither is something like below 10%, but it's not listed. So it makes it look like neither is 0. So that's not good. All right. What about a second one?
So that you don't know the sample size, like it could be like a couple students, you know?
Okay, I like that. That's actually, yeah. Let's see. Did I start 0? Maybe group of 0. Oh, wait. Actually, yeah, that's good. So sample size is good. Actually, the second one that I said is what I said on my own. That neither is not 0% frequency. But yeah, I think that's a good one, Mallory, as well. That the sample size could be like 10 some kids. I don't know. So it could be bigger. That's always something we should look out for. There's one more that I think is ruining our eyes catch it immediately, and we think something is wrong, or we think something different. Did anyone get on that?
The sizes are different even though they're 3% off.
Okay, yeah, like the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the PS3 is wider than this little Xbox, and so because this is wider and there's only like a 3% difference, and because of the scale, I think PS3 is like way outnumbering the Xbox 360. I've got a really bad graph on my page here, unless I am working for PlayStation, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta
fooling
get
everybody.
that.
But I need so boxes aren't similar thickness. Okay. Sweet. So I don't typically like to use pictures, and they don't like it. So if you see some pictures being represented, it's probably not a good thing. It's probably on a bad scale. Alright, sweet. So let's take, you can go to the bathroom, get some water, whatever. Let's just take like a 3-minute break. We're not gonna do too long, 2-3 minutes. Do whatever, stretch up, stand up. Don't cough. Yeah. So. A little break. Gotta get my timings down. Gotta be booking it.